All right, so I think we are live. Yes, we are live. What's going on, guys? Donnie Rouse here. I'm just going to go right into it. And this one is called Do It For Them. So, how. We'll start over again. I'm going to edit this out. But if you're watching it live, you get to see this little blip where I literally just lost my train of thought. So, do it for them. One of the best ways to follow through is to do whatever it is you're trying to create or achieve. Attaching something greater than yourself. It's said that we will do more for others than we will do with ourselves. So knowing this, how can we attach that meaning, that drive forward for someone else and feel all the feelings so that we don't just do it like for one day, but we do it and follow through consistently. What I'm about to share you is just literally an epiphany that I had as I was driving. I was doing some deliveries today, and I was meeting one of my customers, dropping off a couple of bottles of espresso to her. She was headed to work probably in like an hour out. And because she was heading that way, we agreed to meet in Westport, which is kind of like a midway point. I had messaged her the night before. I said, listen, if you're going to go there, send me a message before you go. So this way we can meet, at the right time. I typically have my phone on Do Not Disturb. If you don't do it, I highly suggest it. But I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb just because when I'm in the middle of something important, I'm doing something, I don't want any distractions. It just so happens that I probably should have taken it off. Today was more of a coffee focused day, so I should have taken it off a little bit earlier, but I forgot. As a result, she texted me at around 11:24. I hadn't received the text until 12 o'clock because that was when I had turned off the Do Not Disturb. When I looked at my text, I saw a text from her saying, "Hey, I'm here." I'm like, "Oh my God." And I started to freak out because I'm like, she's up there. I am at least like half an hour away. And I just had a little bit of a panic in a way. And so I'm driving. I told her, I said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm on my way. If you want, I could meet you somewhere else and drop it off." She goes, "It's fine. As long as you're here by 12:30, I have enough time to get to work. And, it's fine. Just text me when you're here." As I was driving on the highway, I'm literally like zigzagging in and out of lanes and speeding up, like going faster than I normally would. At some point in that drive, I was like, this is kind of stupid. Like, why am I putting myself at risk driving faster, like going, changing lanes to get there just to give her these 2 bottles of espresso? And I thought about it. What else can I do, right? What else can I do besides, rush there? Like, say I don't get there on time and she has to leave her work. What else can I do? I'm like, well, I could literally drive it to her work and, take a half an hour out of my schedule because it's the very least I can do to kind of make it right. I ended up getting there about 20, like a couple of minutes after, like just before she had to leave. I got there, gave her the espresso. And, it said, "Listen, next time you order, a bottle's on me. I'm so sorry." And I also left her a little gift and a note in there before I even know all this thing was going to go down. So hopefully I'm sure that I don't have to hope. I know it brought a smile to her face. But while I was driving on this epiphany that I had as I was rushing, I'm like, why am I rushing to get here, putting my life at risk just for the sake of delivering these 2 bottles of espresso? Right? I'm sure I'll get there on time, but why am I rushing? And I thought about her expectation, right? And like being upset, or just the fact that I had given my word the night before that by 12 o'clock it will be delivered. And I didn't want to let her down. I didn't want to fall out of integrity out of the word I gave. Shit happens, right? And it was an accident. But I was willing to speed up in order to get there, to maybe like get there a couple minutes early because I wanted to make sure that I gave her the espresso. What are you gathering from this? It is that you will do more for others than you will do for yourself. So stick with me. I'm going to give you one more story. And I want you to just kind of look for examples in your own life. Because everything we do, right? There's success leaves clues. What I'm telling you is not something that's like, it's only me doing it, right? You've done this at different points in your life. And at different points in your life, you followed through. You said you were going to do the thing. You had that experience that you wanted. And it's about having the experiences, but how do you get yourself to follow through to those experiences? Side story, same drive, but this way, and this time going back home. I'm going on the highway, and I was thinking I was going to go to. I won't say the entire story just so I don't steal my own thunder. It's a gift from my mother. But I was driving back down the highway, and I was gonna stop off. Well, not gonna. I did stop off at this at Home Depot to look at something, to pick something up for her. To give you a little bit of the backstory, I ruined my parents' stove, or at least part of the stove. I had left a pot of rice boiling on it. The water boiled out, and it ended up heating. Can't believe I'm going to tell you this. It ended up literally almost to the point of almost catching fire. I mean, I literally could have burned the house down. And for some reason, I have these little things that pop in my mind where I just get curious as to what would happen. So I took a little bit of water, knowing damn well that if you pour water into something that's extremely hot, because like part of the aluminum of the pot had melted, right? Aluminum melts at 1,000 degrees, right? So the internal base part of it was aluminum. So then the aluminum had like literally melted out. So it was super hot. And I was thinking in my mind, I was like, what would happen if I poured a little bit of water on top of the whatever was left of that rice there? So I take a little cup. I literally maybe put I put a little on there. Nothing happened. So I poured a little bit more. I heard a little. I was like, okay, I don't think I should put any more. Moments later, here, pop, pop. And I'm like, oh no, I hope that is not the glass on this, not the glass surface on the stove. So I'm like, oh shit. All right, well maybe it's just the pot expanding because of the cold water and the hot metal. Maybe that's what it is. Come to find out, I literally broke the stove. Like where the base of the pot was, the glass had cracked all the way around that. So I'm driving home, and you know what? I really want. My mother had always wanted this thing. Let me stop there, and the very least I can do. My father would not let me pay for a stove, so I'm like, at the very least, let me get her this, because I know it would make her life easier. Driving, I'm thinking about my mother, the response that she would have, like how she would feel when she opened it up, when she saw it, and just how like grateful she would be, how it would make her life easier. And then so I'm thinking about this, and I'm feeling good too, right? Because I'm seeing in my mind, I'm seeing her smiling, being so grateful. I'm happy because I brought that smile on because I gave this gift to her. And then something else happened in my mind. I was like, well, what if I didn't do it? Like, what would happen? Like, what if I just took that away? Now, all of a sudden, it was the absence of the emotion, right? Now it's like not feeling that gratitude that I was able, not seeing the expression on her face and her being grateful and seeing how it was benefiting her life as a result of having this thing. I said, how interesting is that, right? It could be challenging to try to say, well, how do you leverage, those people around you, like the people you're doing something for, or the people that would benefit from an action, right? Say it's taking your family on a trip. I'll give you a better example. But how do you leverage the people that are involved so this way you follow through with the action? That's when I realized that it had to do with the emotions, right? When you have the emotion, what do we do anything for? The only reason we do anything in life is because we want to feel an emotion, right? Like, we don't want money. Of course we don't want money. Yeah, everyone wants money, but you don't want money. You want the thing that money can buy, the experience that money can buy. So realizing that absent, like if I took that emotion away, it was actually, I felt like something was missing. And so I said, like, well, how would that work in life? Maybe that is the key. Like, maybe that's how you get yourself to follow through and do more for others than you would do for yourself. Now, let's apply this to your life, right? Let's pretend you want to book a trip for to just if you, even if you don't have a family, pretend like you do just for the sake of the story, right? Let's pretend you are married and you have 3 kids and you want to take them to Disney World, right? So you have, you imagine you taking them there. Imagine them running around the theme park, right? It's not enough to just say, imagine taking your kid to Disney World. Oh yeah, the vision in your head, you're gonna be like, all right, yeah, Mickey Mouse, the castle. Oh, yeah, it's good, but it lacks emotional intensity. But when I say, okay, now your family's there, imagine the experiences that they're having. Imagine the look on their face. What kind of things are they experiencing when they're there? How does that moment enrich your life? What about that experience will your kids, your family remember for the rest of their lives? So now all of a sudden, you're getting a very different picture painted in your mind. Right now, you're like, oh, wow, I totally see. Now, let me ask you this question. What if I were to take that away from you right now? What is missing? What now you feel a void, right? You feel like, oh, wait a minute, I just felt this. And now you're saying I can't have it? Yes, go ahead. You can have it. Go back to thinking about that. Can you see how this can be beneficial for your life? Can you see how this could be beneficial for your goals? Also, I was thinking about this for my business. There's always been this kind of love-hate thing with making the cold Roman, right? With the espresso that I make. People love it. It's great. When I'm making it, a lot of the time it feels mundane because it's a process that's like the same thing going over and over. I try to mix it up, listening to music, talking on the phone sometimes with the earbud, but I find that it could even be distracting. And yes, I have intentions to change the process, but in this given moment, it is what it is. I get feedback from somebody, right? I remember doing the delivery, and one of my accounts was saying, listen, you have no idea. People come in and they rave about this product. People love your product. You make people happy. I received that comment. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, of course I'll keep doing it, right? Because I was able to see how I was benefiting someone else. So I did that same experience. I was like, all right, well, if this works, when I feel disconnected, how can I connect back to that source? I imagine people enjoying my coffee, whether, sitting with a friend and saying, hey, I got this cold Roman here, and then just them having that moment of enjoyment. And I've had people tell me on several occasions where, you don't know how special this is. Like, when I drink this, it literally just makes my day. So I imagined, what if I took that away? What if I just stopped? And I thought about the people. I thought about their experience, their happiness being left, right? And it made me want to follow through, because it wasn't just about doing it for me. It was about bringing happiness, bringing smiles, bringing that moment of enjoyment to people through the product. So that putting the emotion behind, it's not just enough to say, I'm doing it for my customers because they enjoy it. No. When you paint the picture, when you add detail, color, and contrast to that, to make it this beautiful image, now it has the emotional intensity. And when you think about pulling that away, all of a sudden you're like, no. I said I was doing this. I want to give people that joy. I want to take my family on this trip. Now all of a sudden you have the pull. Now you have something pulling you towards it. So let's think about your life, right? You can use this experience. If you're listening in it, hopefully you've actually envisioned, like if you visualize that, which what I was saying, how can you use this in your life? Inspiration doesn't happen by chance, right? You don't feel the reason you're feeling, if you feel any kind of drive in yourself right now, the reason is because you're putting your focus there. That should give you a hint as to what the answer is. The answer is to go there every single day. Every single day, focusing on the things you're striving for and the people that you will benefit, as well as how it's going to benefit your life, right? Because you can do the same thing. It's good to do it for yourself, but when you add other people into it, it leverages it. There's, oh, well, how will doing this change my life? And you imagine this new life you have. And then when you pull away, you're like, no, this is what I'm going for. You can't just do it once. You have to check into these visions for your life, the reasons why you want the thing on a daily basis to make sure the actions you are taking align and move you forward. Take that away, and all of a sudden now you're scattered. You don't even remember why you're doing the thing you're doing. This is one of the reasons why I'm creating the One Life course, which will come out eventually. I'm still working on it, but it is to give you a methodology to connect with on a daily basis. This way you know where you're going. You want a life of joy? You have to connect with that every single day and understand why you're doing what you're doing. And also set intention to it, right? You can do anything, right? You're at work. You could say work fucking sucks, right? I hate my job. But if you ask a different question and bring a different experience to it, be like, yeah, it sucks, but how can I just make it while I'm here? How can I make it just more enjoyable? Maybe it is like, bringing coffee and donuts to the office or doing something different that's going to make it more enjoyable for you. Sometimes when I worked in the office, I used to like going in on the weekends. Might sound stupid, like, well, why would you go on the weekends? Because that meant I could leave earlier during the week. And sometimes I would go early in the office when I was doing accounting, because that meant I can go there with no one else in the office. I could play my music. I could have my cup of coffee. I could, just get into my groove, knock out the work, and I felt great. And plus, I had more time during the week. Bring the joy. That is bring the joy to whatever it is you do. So I hope that this podcast inspired you some way and let us change your focus to start to think of whatever it is you're going after differently, not just from the standpoint of what will I benefit, but how will I benefit others, and connecting yourself to those emotions so that it could pull you forward faster than you would if it was just some internal desire that was trying to move you. Because when you do things for others, you will follow through. That is all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this post. If you're seeing me here, I am drinking another coffee. I swear that drinking coffee is not the only thing I do. Well, it kind of is. I do drink a lot of coffee, but I've created this ritual now where, when I come on here, the coffee grounds me. It makes me ready to jump on here to do some videos. As long as I'm not doing 10 videos in a day, having 10 shots of espresso, I think I'm good. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. That is how I get followers, as well as you sharing it to someone else whom you feel could benefit from hearing what you've just heard. If you want to subscribe, ask a question, or comment, you could do so by visiting my website at www.donnyraus.com, DONNYRAUS.com. One more time, it's DONNYRAUS.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you realize that you have the power to create whatever life you want. The power is within you, and I believe in you. You can do this. Remember, you only get one life. Live it. God bless, and I will see you again